a remarkable, humble human with a huge heart and a social soul, Mesopotamia's finest intellectual, professor architect, Mohammed Adib. Welcome to the Inners.
We had to play outside, and you had to build cities out of mud and to drive cars around. Or when we did have toys, it was like Lego or Meccano or these things. So design was something very interesting to me, making things basically. Really, the most important thing for design is something that is useful, something that improves someone's, I wouldn't say life, it's a bit too much of a word, but it's someone that to improve an experience.
And I cannot help but ask, function or form?
I think one cannot exist without the other. Everything has to be pleasing to the eye and everything has to be functional.
And what about perfection?
I would dare to say it's unreachable, but I think that's what makes design so exciting.
Hello, Inners community. My guest today has wizardly talents and time-defying skills, creating curated spaces and curious clouds, from the inception of an optimum detail to the execution of mega projects. An incomparable world connoisseur in arts, music, film, food, products, machines, materials, cultures, and customs. A remarkable, humble human with a huge heart and a social soul. Mesopotamia's finest intellectual, professor architect, Mohammed Adib. Welcome to the Inners.
Thank you very much. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you very much for those kind words.
It is absolutely a true story, as I'm sure you're gonna wow us now with what's gonna come next.
Thank you.
So, I have some superpowers, and one of them is seeing invisible things. And I can see many invisible hats that you're wearing. Could you tell our audience about them?
Yeah, architecture is a very a profession that makes you want to explore a lot of things and try a lot of things. So I have many hats, many activities, many things, and hopefully many more to come. So yes, I'm an architect at heart. I'm an interior designer. I'm a hotel operator. I'm a restaurant operator. I'm a small developer, and anything else that I can get my hands on. So.
Oh, okay. This sounds super exciting already, but let's start from the beginning.
I was born in Iraq. I was there till I was 15. Then I moved to the UK, where I did all my studies. Then I did a world tour working as an architect in many, many offices, sort of went east and came back from the west.
Okay.
It took me about a year and a half. Then I did a bit of practice in a couple of countries just to get sort of different cultures and different ideas. And then I set up my company in 1993. This is the 30th year anniversary. And in Barcelona, actually, of all places. Mm-hmm. Another thing is I'm a big football fan, and that was one of the reasons I went to Barcelona. And then from there, it sort of just kept on going. New countries, new places. And then recently I've been lucky enough to be accepted as a partner at Dewan Architects. And that sort of really opened up a much bigger world, to say the least.
Excellent. And what was the trigger for you to go through into the design industry?
From very, very young, I was very interested. We're lucky we're not the sort of the Game Boy and Nintendo generation. We had to play outside, and you had to build cities out of mud and to drive cars around. Or when we did have toys, it was like Lego or Meccano or these things. So design was something very, very interesting to me, making things basically. But also I think I was, as a child or till now, I like to look at people, how they use spaces, how they go around their daily life. And this is something I think it's a any architect, any designer has to have a bit of a voyeur in them. You really need to see how people use things to be able to improve or to design for them.
Absolutely. Being an observer is crucial.
For sure.
And the attention to detail, of course. Yeah. Can we ask you the question that everyone asks you about your design inspirations?
It's very difficult to sort of pinpoint something as an inspiration. Really, the most important thing for design is something that is useful, something that improves someone's, I wouldn't say life, it's a bit too much of a word, but it's someone that to improve an experience. Be it a building, be it a product, be it an interior, or be it a spoon including. It's just the use of it should improve your journey through it. So same with the building, the building, when you think about the sense of arrival, when you think of what you do, you really have to put your head to your mind as if you're sort of different people walking through the space when you're thinking about designing it. And I think that is the most important thing, to foresee any kind of possible use. The more you think about that, the more successful a design is. And
I cannot help but ask, function or form?
I think one cannot exist without the other. It is. Corbusier, one of the greatest in my opinion. He sort of brought from art all the way to functionality. Used to say everything has to be pleasing to the eye and everything has to be functional. So everything. First impact is what you see. Mm-hmm. That has to be the right. But then you use it. Obviously, we're not talking about the painting. We're talking about the space. We're talking about the product. We're talking about an interior. I don't think one could exist without the other. They both have an as important weight in it. And it's the aesthetics sometimes is not so apparent, but you feel it. It could be a proportion of a space. Mm-hmm. Many times you go and sit somewhere and you like it. You don't know why. It could be red, but you don't like red, but the place is red. But it could be that the height, the scale, the proportion of the space, all this is part of the hidden aesthetics. Mm-hmm. And then the functionality. Obviously, if you sit down on a chair, it should be comfortable. You should not dangle your feet or you should not raise your knees. Things like that are quite apparent, but has to be thought through.
And what about perfection?
I have not reached it. I think very, very few people have reached it. Mm-hmm. In design, I think I would dare to say it's unreachable. But I think that's what makes design so exciting. Every single day I learn something new. Really, I've been working for 35, 36 years. And everything is exciting. Everything is new, and this is part of architecture and design. It's the same. You design a building. If you have 6 months to do it, it will be good. If you have 8 months to do it, it will be better. If you have 2 years to do it, it will be amazing. Mm-hmm. Nothing. We cannot reach perfection. We can just get closer and closer with time.
So, for you, these people who reach perfection, how did they achieve that, and how do you define perfection?
I don't know how to define it.
Okay.
I would not dare to define it. Mm-hmm. It's we have to get closer to it, but I don't know if I think it's also if you think you reached perfection is when you stop trying. So I think it's also not a positive thing. I think perfection is something that's unreachable. I don't know. I've not reached it. I hope I'll never reach it, but I hope I'll die trying to reach it. I think that's very important. Other people that have come close to it, I think it has a bit of a genius thing. Some people mm-hmm. can see things easier than others, and these people are lucky. Some people use that for the good of humanity. Some people use that for their good, whatever it is. But perfection we're talking about design. I'm not talking about anything else. I think design, there are some people that are very talented that have created some pieces that are eternal. There are certain buildings, there are certain pieces of furniture, there are certain items of product. When you see them, you think this is really close to perfection, but then there's always something better. There are designs from the 20s that you see them now and you think, wow, I wish I could design this now, and so there are some people that are close to perfection, but I hope I never find it.
What a humble and wise opinion and perspective. Of course, we always continue learning, and it's always progress over perfection. Arguably, progress is perfection.
Yeah, getting towards perfection. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So how do you keep up with the ever-changing demands in the industry, trends, and how do you anticipate them?
I think, just sort of, again, this is watching people going, visiting fairs, visiting countries, cultures. The world is getting smaller and smaller, so the globalization of design is getting easier. Obviously, now, with the internet, with Pinterest, with things, you see so many things. But still, the most important thing is what you feel with design, and that is something that you can only do by visiting. The visiting a place gives you an idea that you can never get from a picture. It's a sensory experience. It's everything. It's what you see, what you smell, what you feel, the space, the proportions. A picture is flat. I need to feel a space to get that, and that is. Traveling, seeing what people are doing around the world, experiencing. If you're looking at hotels, look what new hotel concepts are coming up. Looking at cultures, the past is one of the best teachers that have. Learning from the past to use it in the present is something very good. Just researching, looking at historical places, visiting new. It's just really going around. This is the enjoyable part of getting inspiration and getting up to date with the tendencies.
Super interesting. What are the design challenges that you face?
Design challenges, I'm going to shoot myself in the foot now, but probably the biggest challenge is the clients. I think majority of the clients are I guess it's economical factors or whatever. You do get from time to time some amazing clients that sort of really want you to think out of the box, want to do something pioneering, something they want you to be a maverick in design to do it for them. So I think this is still happening from time to time, but I think the main challenge now is really the conditions, the regulations, the use of materials, the sustainability could be a factor that needs to be considered. A lot of challenges there are, but again, it's also a bit boring if there's no challenges. Yeah, if the client comes and tells you, I want you to do a brick garage for one car, that's more exciting than if the client comes and says, I have this plot of land, what shall I do with it? It's a bit more challenging to really try and do something. No, this is a brick on top of a brick. Let's do it in a different way.
So what would be more exciting and challenging? A client brief or a detailed, precise inquiry?
I think if the client has a good vision, not so much a detailed brief. I think detailed brief is, it needs to be. If we're talking about a commercial residential tower, I understand it needs to be, the facade needs to be this percentage of glass and this percentage of solid. The rooms have to be that. The efficiency has to be that for the numbers to add up. I understand that sometimes. I think it's nicer if the client has a very clear vision, what he wants to do. And obviously, you cannot bankrupt your client. He has to make money. But if you can reinterpret the vision in a way that could offer something new, I think it's more rewarding and it's more beneficial economically. If we can do something different because the client wants to risk that, it's very good. And this has happened. Every few years we get a project where the client wants to do something really different, and he's willing to risk it. Obviously he's not going to ask for apartments and we're going to give him a restaurant. So within reason, you're allowed to sort of investigate and try and find something that could be more appealing for that plot, for those users, for that vision. Then this is very good.
And out of these different types of buildings that you mentioned, which one would be your favorite?
I have no favorite. I mean, I enjoy...
Obviously, favorite to design.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I enjoy anything that people use. So really, it is nothing. I've done more hotels probably than other buildings, but I love we're doing shopping malls. We're doing a water park in Saudi now. We've done a mixed use, things like that. As long as I think of how people are going to use my building and how to do that, optimizing that, I think it's fine. Really, it doesn't matter what kind of a building it is.
Because at Dewan Architects and Intercon, you're practically done projects all over the globe, I believe.
Yeah, well, we've worked everywhere. I mean, obviously the biggest mass of work is here in the GCC.
Okay.
Probably most of it is in I would say 60-70% is UAE and the rest is Saudi. And then abroad, we've done quite a bit. Obviously, Europe, Spain, Central Asia, South Pacific. We've done Australia, we've done the States, we've done South America. So yeah, projects all over the place.
So out of all of these challenges, and especially when it comes to sustainability, LEED and the Istidama certificate, right? How can you meet all of these requirements?
Okay, I think sustainability is a word that it's been abused a bit. First of all, the most sustainable building is the building that's designed properly. Mm-hmm. We could have a platinum LEED building that's empty, which is the most unsustainable thing in the world. We could have, you can see it in a lot of buildings, especially now where sort of the tendency is coming, especially in the region, for refurbishing buildings that have been 10, 15, 20 years. You go and see a back of house corridor that's 3 meters wide. This is concrete, this is tiles, this is lighting, this is heating, this is cooling. This is unsustainable. A building that is designed specifically, properly for the use that it has is the most sustainable thing. Obviously, the certification is important. The certification, the problem with it is a bit too generic. It's not the same. You cannot... in Niagara Falls, you cannot put a tap that's limited to 3 liters a minute. It doesn't make sense. There's water there. It doesn't have to be. It has to be more specific to each region. The other problem that is happening is that there's a cost. It's more expensive to design sustainably. This can only go down if legislation forces and makes things a norm. It has to be a lot more stringent for the cost to come down. Now, Istidama, LEED, probably everything except passive house, it's really just touching the surface. It still doesn't touch things which are very, very negative in sustainability, because concrete is the worst thing there is for the carbon footprint, yet everything is concrete. Okay. This is a big problem. They go about materials, but materials is a minimal part of the thing. You can have a sustainable material, but it doesn't take into account if it comes from Europe. Mm-hmm. If we are building here, the boat has brought it here. It's burned a lot of diesel to come here. These things are wrong. It has to be really measured in a way that is fitting for the country it's being built in. Plus, if it's very strict legislation, then the prices will go down, because now people use it as a marketing tool. Mm-hmm. If a developer thinks he can rent a more expensive office, if he does it grade A, LEED Platinum, he will do that. If it's not, he will not do it. Because he will not spend the extra money if he's not going to get it back. But if it's a very strict law, by every government, by every municipality, then the prices will go down. They have to go down. And that will make it real.
Very interesting. Recently, you have designed the forum at Downtown Design Exhibition in Dubai Design District, which was a space in the clouds, if I'm explaining it right. Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really our sort of main line of business, but it's the 10th anniversary of Downtown Design, and it's the 30th anniversary of Intercon. So basically they invited us to collaborate on that. My take on that, the sky theme was a bit general about from the actual fair itself. So we brought it in, but what we wanted to do basically, the forum is a circle.
Yeah.
We wanted to be a very sort of interactive and a form that helps. There was no stage. There were people that were mixing. There were no screens, so you could not focus about someone. We wanted it to be really a place where people can participate in the events, in the talks, in the presentations. And I think that happened. I was present in a couple of the talks, and that happened. You know, it's in there. Another thing, I wanted it to be open because people from the outside could look in. You know, it's always very nice. We had the challenge of the audio, because usually it's sort of, if it's too loud, it goes out and you can hear the other. We were very lucky in that we had quite a bit of support with a few companies that deliver very special materials, which are totally recycled, totally sustainable, but very, very good acoustically. So the stand actually was made mainly with materials that are very, very sound absorbent. And the speakers were hidden around this the forum at very low level, and a lot of speakers and not a lot. So really you could not feel that someone was talking on a microphone, but wherever you were seated, you could hear that. It wasn't bothering the people outside, and because of this cocoon of acoustic materials, you couldn't hear the noise from outside. So I think this was the strongest thing. You know, the theme was to have almost like an enclosed cocoon. That's why the clouds were close. You know, always when you're close to the ceiling, it makes you feel more comfortable instead of a really high impersonal ceiling. And these materials made it, I think it's the right theme that we were looking for.
And those are the wizardly talents and curious clouds that I mentioned before. Yeah. Amazing. I was there, and indeed the performance of the space was wonderful and very integrated with the whole concept and with the human experience as well.
And to tell you the truth, I had no idea if it was going to work or not. But this again, we're talking, you know, Mete from Downtown Design. Yeah, she believed in us, so he did it, and it worked. So.
And she made a great choice. Yeah. And speaking of the clouds, so let's talk about the digital clouds now. Can you tell us about the Tower of Babylon in the Metaverse?
Yeah, the Metaverse has gone a bit out of fashion recently, but this was another thing. You know, this was it's a very interesting project, really. It was, you know, when the Metaverse first exploded, everyone was trying to make money out of it. Mm-hmm. You know, we being architects, we don't know how to make money. We just know how to spend it. So basically what I thought is we need to give something back. You know, for me, the most interesting thing about the Metaverse was the way that you could reach millions and millions of people instantly. You know, this for me, this is the strength of the Metaverse. So what we wanted to do was to develop a tower. Actually, it came from a competition we did a few years ago for the Evolo skyscraper, where our idea was to have almost like the original Tower of Babel, you know, where people escaped wars and went to a unified place where all cultures could unite. They'll develop their own language and live in harmony and peace. Mm-hmm. So the idea for our initial Tower of Babel was to put these towers in conflict areas. Wherever there's a conflict area, you put it there. The people that did not want to fight will go and live there, and the people that wanted to fight can just stay and fight in in their silly places. So this developed almost like a sort of a utopia of a civilization based on the thing. So when the metaverse started exploring, I thought this would be a very nice thing to give something back to the metaverse using this idea of the initial Tower of Babel, but doing it for design. So the idea was that we would invite basically 100 members. We would be one of them, and there would be another 99 divided into a third academia, a third manufacturing, in everything to do with design, and a third of designers, architects, interior designer, product designers. These can only be by invitation, where we would give them an NTP that gives them the right to use this tower. They could not sell it, they could not give it away unless the other 99 approve it. So it's a way of asking first for a commitment from the companies. And also what this place offered you is that, first of all, you had a gallery where you could exhibit your NTPs. You had a forum, which I like the forum very much, another very, very good round interactive place where you could go and present a material, present a design, talk about everything, and open to the public. You're the only one that could talk, plus the 99 others. The public could interact, could listen, can ask questions, and can be there. There was a space which were workshops where you could sort of meet a manufacturer and the thing. You'd go in a room and develop some products and try them. People can come and watch as you're working. And then there was an infinite spiral upwards where you could show your product, show your design, build a house. This is the nice thing about the metaverse, it's infinite. It can grow and grow and grow. So the idea was that basically everything that you designed, you put it out there, people could use it, people could improve on it, people can comment on it, and it's just really an exchange of information on design.
What a wonderful initiative. Let's talk about your less highlighted sides, because there are many. So we're going to reveal part of the dark side of the moon right now. What about the food journey?
I'm a great foodie. I'm a very, very big foodie. This is something that's I think it goes quite well with design and architecture. It's something that I love. I love cooking. I love eating, as you can see, and I love offering food to people as well. So that is something that's very close to my heart. And any chance I can get, I can cook. I can invite people. I can cook for people. And I've had a couple of restaurants, as you know. I know you've tried our Orange restaurant in Barcelona. And recently we were very lucky. I have a small hotel and a restaurant. We were awarded the first Michelin star there, which is an amazing thing to happen as well.
Congratulations. Where's that?
In Pamplona, in north of Spain.
And what's the name of the restaurant?
Alma, the Hotel Alma. It's the restaurant from the hotel.
Wow, I can't wait to try it my next visit, Spain.
Everything is within 20 kilometers. Everything that we cook and serve there is within 20 kilometers of the hotel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm booking my flight tomorrow.
Let's go.
We're going to touch again on food in a bit, but what about music?
Yeah, music. I think we have very similar tastes, so this is an exciting thing. Yeah, I think music is something very important in life. Really, it's something that you need to listen to. It changes your mood. It relaxes you. It makes you focus. It makes you whatever you need. There's a right kind of music for any mood you want to be in.
And travel. I know you traveled the world. How many times around?
I don't know. I love traveling. I think I've been to almost every single country. My list is there's very few places I haven't been, I'm just ticking them off, and I think I have probably about 3 or 4 countries to go, and then I would have completed every country in the world. Healthy
envy. So where would be the next 3-4 stops?
No, it's work for the time being, I'm afraid. I'm flying out to Vietnam. We have an office there. We have quite a bit of work there. Then I'm going to Europe, Barcelona, Zurich, and a couple of places like that.
Okay.
But the place that I really want to go and I've never been is in New Zealand. That's on my bucket list for sure.
Wonderful. And after that, what's going to be? Mars?
Yeah, if I get a chance, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Save me a seat with you. So let's do this in a rapid fire questions about your favorites.
Okay.
Your favorite dish?
It's very, very difficult.
I know.
That is very difficult. Really, for me, food is so linked to the state of mind. It could be anything. There's a right time for Asian. There's a right time for pasta. There's a right time for meat. It's just, I can't. I really can't.
Name a few.
Meat is very important.
Okay.
Meat done in a right way is very important. Pasta is incredible. Paella is amazing. Ramen is amazing. I really can't. I really can't. I'm getting hungry now as we speak. I can't.
So I assume that you're not just a great cook, but an exceptional one.
No. I'm good. I cook well, but yeah, out of fun more than anything.
What are your specialty dishes?
I do a bit of everything. I go through phases, so I'd like to try sort of different cuisines, and whenever I have time, I just learn something new. And I do quite a bit of courses, so whenever I'm traveling, if I get a few days free, then I always do sort of a class of Vietnamese cooking or Japanese or something like that. But yeah, I'd like to try everything, and from the beginning, I really like to go back to the basics. I think this is part of an architect. I cannot buy something that is halfway done or something. If I need to do paella, it's a show. I start from the basis of, I almost grow the rice. Then I do the stock from the beginning. I do everything, and step by step. It's part of the process. The Japanese have the futon. It's preparing the bed. It almost prepares you to sleep. And for me, it's the same with cooking. It's the whole preparation, the chopping slowly, and it's all gets you hungry, gets you ready to eat. It's part of the journey.
It's a ritual.
Yeah, for sure.
So which type of paella would it be?
My favorite is the black paella, the squid ink.
Yeah, the black rice.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. What about your favorite band or artist?
Definitely Pink Floyd. I mean, there's really nothing comes close to them. It's just from the beginning to the end. I've never heard a single track that is just not spot on. They're probably going back to your perfection. They're probably as close as perfect to music as anyone can get. So that's definitely them.
No one can argue that. Good. I agree with you. Yet, favorite Pink Floyd tracks?
I think Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
Dark Side of the Moon.
I put an S because I know it's going to be a difficult one answer, but...
No, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. What's your favorite movie?
Movie, Delicatessen. A very obscure, small Belgian movie. But it's one of the few films that really, really surprised me. And still, I've watched it a few times, and it still surprises you. You know what's happening, you know what's going to happen. Still, there's bits and pieces. It's a very interesting film.
Wow. Have you watched the movie The Menu?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know why it reminded me with that one, with Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the Delicatessen actually has very little to do with food, strangely enough. Yeah. It has a big twist.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch it. You'll enjoy it.
Where can I find it?
I'm sure it's everywhere. I don't know. It's it's quite old. I don't know if it's on Netflix.
I don't know. This one's going to be probably a difficult question. Who is your favorite designer or architect?
I think Corbusier. Really, he's the one that's most inspired me. Ever since I started studying, ever since I started visiting, I think he is really the most complete designer that I know. And I say designer, not architect, because he has everything. He has color schemes, he has furniture, he has art, he has sculptures. For me, I think he's the most complete.
Why do you identify with him, or his work resonates with you?
I think when I was studying, I was really inspired by him. I really liked the way that he converted. I mean, he almost was an artist before he was an architect. But I think the way he used color is something, now it's very big use of color. Before it was not so much, and he was using it from the beginning. Plus the fact that actually our house in Baghdad, where I grew up, I mean, my father built it when I was 1, we moved into it. It was inspired by the architect Corbusier. Most of his later work was done in Iraq. And the house was inspired, and actually, according to him, it was even reviewed by Corbusier, because it was the local architect that was working with him on the project. And we had, I had, my bathroom was a red mosaic bathroom with a chaise longue and the bath and things like that. So it was a bit of, seeing things like that. And it was, I used to remember, looking at a hard mosaic bath, but when you sat on it, it was really comfortable because it's so ergonomic, and these things are the things that Corbusier sort of looked at a lot. And he developed his buildings. I mean, his church in France, it's something amazing. I mean, you don't have to be religious to go. You just walk into this place and you feel peace. You really, things like that he's really very unique.
Another difficult question, book.
No, not at all. I think 1984 is one of my favorite books.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know, I've read it probably 7-8 times, and it's just I don't know, it just makes me keep track of how bad people can be. It's a nice thing, and it's very true. It's a very old book. But it just every time that something happens bad in the world, you think, oh my God, it's human nature. It's within us. Nothing has changed in the hundreds of years that we've been evolving.
Absolutely true. Unfortunately. What about your favorite animal?
Definitely a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a dog is the only animal that's worth anything. I love dogs. The uglier, the more bastardized, the better. But yeah, I love dogs. I wish I had a dog.
And you don't have one?
No, I travel 200 days a year. It's very difficult unless they develop a small carry-on dog. I don't know.
A digital one, maybe.
Digital, yeah.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were explaining why you like dogs.
No, it's just the perfect animal. It's an animal. I think it's the only being that sort of loves you more than loves themselves. It's something incredible. It's just something that will remember you forever, be nice, happy to see you any time of the day. It's perfect companion.
And back to humans now. Who are your role model?
I think my mother was probably the most important factor in my life, in everything, in my education, in my development. And she really was the greatest woman that I've ever met, for sure.
And she raised an exceptional human being.
Yeah, thank you.
What's your favorite city?
To live, I think Barcelona is very difficult to beat. I've lived in many cities. I think where I'm most comfortable is Barcelona. I love Shanghai. I love New York. Dubai is amazing. It's just something about the human scale. Barcelona is everything is thinking of the person. You can walk everywhere. The buildings are at a scale where it doesn't hurt your neck to look at them. And it just has everything. You have the mountains, you have the sea, you have the countryside. I think it's an ideal place to sort of live.
That's an interesting observation, where your neck do not hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. Since you mentioned Dubai as well, how important for you and your business and for Dewan and Intercon being, I don't know if it's based or stationed in Dubai?
I think Dubai has developed, the brand Dubai is amazing. We are actually getting a lot of work outside the region, having been from Dubai, like Barcelona was before for a design city, Dubai is the same now. It's a sort of more of an architecture. Barcelona was more for a smaller scale, intimate design, and Dubai is for master planning, architecture. It has developed a character that the journey in the beginning, maybe it was not as nice. It was the learning curve was a bit. There are some examples of bad architecture, but I think it has become such a good brand of developing a way of life that it's really, really very important for Dewan and for Intercon to be associated with Dubai. Our HQ is here in Dubai, and when we go out, when we try and get work, knowing that we are from Dubai is a big plus, which is incredible. Because if you think, first time I came here was 1980, there was no Dubai, and really we're talking about in my lifetime, and I'm not 110, so to see something like that develop in a way, and every step, I used to doubt it. They used to say, we're going to do Dubai Marina, we're going to do 200 towers. This is where we used to go camping, in the weekend on the beach, because it was a nice beach. I think, no way it's going to happen. It happens. Downtown, they're going to do this downtown city for 600,000 people. And it happens. And these are all 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. The time, what happened here is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And this can only be because of the way the people are. The people of Dubai are very unique. They're maybe it's because of their history of traders. They're very open. They learn, that the spices from India to Iraq, they were mixing with a lot of cultures. They had to learn from other people. They had to create something from nothing. I think that this is the secret of Dubai, and it just gets better and better. It's we are in a bit of a bubble. Yes, there are a lot of mistakes. There's some mistakes of the success and how quick it grew, urban planning, things like that. But it's always fixed. Everything you see, Business Bay gets full. The road going in is packed. A few months later, they found the solution. Things like that. Now dividing the city in 5 sort of centers, it's really helping to develop it into more of a sustainable city, to make it more of a 15-minute city, as they call it. I think really Dubai, the sky is the limit for Dubai. And every time we're learning more talent is coming here, which is helping for it to develop its own style, its own identity. And this is something very, very unique. And we're really very honored to have been part of this journey.
Absolutely, we are. And again, actions speak louder than words. And what they've accomplished, as you mentioned, it's time bending. And so what do you anticipate to be next year? What's going to happen?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Really, it's everything. Vision 2040, vision. It's just even the expo. I've been probably since '92, since Seville. I've been to all the expos. This was the best by far, really by far. Even Shanghai was unbelievable, but just the scale, it was too much. This was incredible. Every time, I went maybe 20, 30 times. It's incredible. Everything worked perfectly. It's central. The exhibitions were amazing. The place was amazing. The service, everything worked perfectly.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible, yeah.
And what's next for Dewan Architect and Intercon?
Just keep growing. This is one of the first things when I set up my company. I set it up in 1990 in London, which was just after the big bubble that burst. And then I moved to 93 in Barcelona, which was post-Olympics, and it was also a big recession. So I thought we can never depend on the same country. We just have to get more and more work outside. And it's the same that we're doing with both Dewan and Intercon. We're with the CV and with the work that we've done here in the region. is a very easy thing to sell outside. So I mean, we're got amazing projects now in Southeast Asia, and just keep growing, finding more markets and growing continuously.
Very strategic.
Yeah.
And what are the next milestones for Mohammed Adib?
No, I mean it's the same really. Dewan, Intercon, Mohammed Adib is the same thing. You know, the journey is the same. So it's just keep growing, improving, and doing more design. That's all makes me happy.
Wonderful. And on the personal accomplishments, is it another restaurant, learning how to cook another difficult dish,
Yeah.
or playing a new instrument?
Oof, instrument. I don't have the patience anymore for learning a new instrument. No, I think everything. I mean, really, I'm very lucky in that the profession I chose, I love, and that makes me happy. And you know, I'm very happy working. So you know, if I have time to do something else, I'll do it. If I don't have time, I'm very happy doing a little sketch or a building or meeting a client and developing a vision or something like that. So I'm very, very lucky, really.
And that's one of the reasons to excel on a level that you are.
Thank you.
But any regrets?
I'm sure. I've probably blocked them out more than anything. You know, youth, you make mistakes, which forms you in your later age to develop better. So, yeah, I have regrets that I've made mistakes, but probably they were part of my learning curve and my journey. So you learn a lot more from a mistake than from a success. So I think we have to sort of look at regret in a positive way, and try and learn from it rather than sort of keep it there as a problem.
And that's the best way. Professor Architect Mohammed Adib, I cannot thank you enough for taking the time. I know you have a flight to catch tomorrow early morning, so I truly appreciate that you invested all of these moments with us here, and you shared these wonderful, amazing, inspiring moments of your life. Thank you very much again, and I'm looking forward to having you for another session in the near future.
Thank you very much, Ali. I love these initiatives. Really, I've been following the blog with quite a few others, and it's a great thing. Really, we should just talk more often. This is what makes humanity so special.
Absolutely. And as you know, it's not just a podcast. We're trying to build a community and spread knowledge and spread good that would eventually come full circle. And it's a privilege and honor to have someone of your caliber to be one of the Inners community. Thank you again. Hello, Inners community. Hope you enjoyed this session. We'd like to know your comments and thoughts. Most importantly, please do share the episodes and the micro content. The purpose of this podcast is to exchange experiences and share knowledge and raise awareness. So be part of the change. Create your waves. Let the ripple effect reach to everyone, where all of good action comes full circle. And please do remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And I'll see you next session.